Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Good morning to you. It really is kind of the morning because it's like, let's see what time it is. 1:55 a.m. How are you doing tonight? And it is Sunday going into Monday, and I have a training appointment in exactly 10 hours. But I'm very rested because all we did today was sleep. It was very nice. Well, that's not actually true. We got up today. I'm on my way to get a Diet Coke. I haven't gotten a Diet Coke in a vlog in quite some time. So I thought, you know what? I'm thirsty for a Diet Coke, so I'm gonna go get a Diet Coke tonight. And I was gonna ask Tanya earlier if she wanted to get a fountain Coke, but I was just doing stuff around the house and all that kind of stuff. So, starting some new things. I'm excited about it. Let's see. Okay. One of the new things. No. Got up this morning. I'll talk about the new things that I'm doing in a second. But got up today and we went to brunch at Cafe Patashu. And I basically ate a bunch of junk last night. Delicious junk, but junk. I think I talked about it on here. And I went to the whatever party. But I woke up today and I had gained like a pound back or whatever. Like I know you guys say don't weigh yourself every day, but like I am, but I just don't talk about it on here. So anyway, it wasn't like, I guess I didn't go, you know, all in like I thought I did. But anyway, so got up today, went and ate brunch, and my plan was just to eat brunch and not eat anything else today, and I'm not hungry, and I haven't been hungry since brunch. And Alex got his normal, usual, typical thing. I got my normal, typical thing. I got the omelet you can't refuse, minus the bacon, add Gouda cheese, and red onions, and coffee. It was coconut cream pie coffee today. And then I got potatoes and an everything bagel, toasted with cream cheese and blueberry jelly, or jam. They call it jam there. I like the word jam. But anyway, jam sounds like more country, doesn't it? It sounds like you would really prefer to have jam on something than jelly. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, and we had a really nice brunch. And let's see, I did not eat very much of my brunch. I ate my omelet, I ate less than half of my potatoes, and I ate one half of my bagel, and I did not bring it home with me because I knew if I brought it home I would eat it. So I was like, I'm not gonna bring it home with me. And then that was about it. And then Alex came home. We got home at about 20 after 3 or something like that. And Alex was like, I'm gonna go upstairs and watch some TV. And I said, okay, I have to call. So I had to call Mel, the book club assistant, now vice president, that's what I call her. And so she and I talked for about a half an hour on the phone, had an awesome conversation, and just chit-chatted about stuff that had nothing to do with books. And then we also came up with the plan going forward. So I will talk about that first. Well, I'll tell you my day and then I'll talk about that. So, and then I had to do my book club live stream. So I did that starting at 4 o'clock to about 10 till 5. And then we were supposed to go to this Christmas market thing in Carmel, Indiana today with Alex's friend, Sarah, and another friend. And Alex was like, you still want to go, don't you? And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of tired. I'd like to lay down for a little bit. And he was like, oh, whatever. So I had to watch my vlog back. So because I like had edited it together and then like it wouldn't upload the way that it was a mess. I had to like render it twice. So anyway, and I needed to make sure that it was like all clipped together, because what is happening, and I don't know why, is that I'm uploading my vlog to YouTube and it's like taking out the last 4 or 5 minutes of it and not finishing it. So I had to make sure that like that was all like, you know, in there, and it wasn't, I just wanted to make sure that it was, you know, all the pieces together. So I did that. That took me about, I don't know, not long, 10 or 15 minutes, to make sure that, because like by the time that it got uploaded, I had to wait for it to be uploaded so I could watch the end of it to make sure that it was all the way through. And then I posted that, and then I called, oh no, before I did that, it was still rendering, and because I didn't start uploading it till after we got back from brunch. So I called and talked to some friends on the phone, and then ran a few errands that I had to do, and I came back, and that was probably at about 6:30ish, I think, and that's when I ended up, the vlog was finally up on YouTube, and I made sure that the end of it was like rendered correctly, and I had to like watch it through to make sure that like it wasn't a mess. So anyway, thank God. I don't know what is going on with why it keeps on doing that, but it keeps on cutting off the tail end of the vlog. Which is why I've been posting the vlog a little bit later lately, because it's just, I've had to sometimes upload it twice. And then sometimes it says duplicate uploads, even though it doesn't upload the very end of it, which I don't know it anyway. So, got that up, probably, I don't know, sometime 6, 7, something like that. And then I went upstairs and I said, no, it was before that, because I said to Alex, I said, we're still going with Sarah, aren't we? And he goes, I just texted her and said, I'm too tired, I don't want to go. And I said, oh, okay. So, that was when I posted it. And then we, so then I came in and I was like, are you like getting up or what are you doing? And he was like, I'm really tired. Like I could sleep straight through the night. And I said, okay, well then I'm going to lay down for a little bit too, because it would be nice to take a nap with you and I'm tired and whatever. And all the dogs were cozy into bed and all of that. So, I got into bed, I think like because I read for a little bit before that, like down in the kitchen. So probably at 8 o'clock I laid down. It was a little bit before 8, I think. And then laid down till like 10. And then woke up and Alex was getting up. And he went downstairs and made pizza rolls. And he watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta, or of Orange County. But I'd already watched it, the first part of the reunion. And so he's like, do you want to come down here and watch this with me? And I was like, no. So I just kind of stayed in bed and looked through Instagram and stuff like that. What is going on with the light in this car? Like on the camera, sometimes it goes in and out. Anyway, oh my God, the other day I was thinking about it. Do you guys remember the temperature thing when the camera would get too hot and then it would shut off? I'm so thankful I don't have to deal with that anymore on my stupid camera. Yes, it will only let me record. I don't know why it will only let me record so many minutes and then it stops, but whatever. I'm sure there's some way for me to fix that too, but I'm not technological. So I like laid around in bed till about 11 o'clock, and then we were talking about our vacation that we're taking in March, because we're trying to figure out if we're gonna go to Florida, and then right after Florida, like fly from Miami to somewhere else, which is very expensive, and then not do a birthday trip, or if we're gonna do Miami and not stay as long and do a birthday trip. So we're trying to figure that out. So we were kind of looking at some of that stuff, and then we were looking at furniture, for the bedroom, because the first thing I think we're gonna try to redo and maybe like do like as our Christmas present to each other is buy nightstands. And then he doesn't know that I'm gonna buy these lamps, but I showed him these lamps and he was like, yeah, I really like those Tree of Life lamps. And then he doesn't know that I'm buying all new bedding too, so that's a little secret. And he doesn't watch my vlogs, so don't tell him. Not that he would be super surprised even if he did know, but so then, yeah, so then he was watching that, and then he was like, I'm going to bed, I'm really tired. You've been sleeping all day, how are you so tired? He goes, I know, but I'm just so tired, I'm gonna go back to sleep. And I said, okay. So then, let me go through here and get my Diet Coke, because I have some news to tell you guys about something I'm starting. No, it's not another channel. Not really. Not really. $1.08.
Can I help you?
Yeah, can I get a large Diet Coke, please?
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Wait.
This a little bit. It doesn't have to be on the camera. I have not had a McDonald's Diet Coke, and I cannot tell you how long. I'm so thirsty for one. Hey, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good.
Alright.
Thank you. You too. Put my wallet. Do you guys like these Listerine strips? I'm kind of addicted to them. Oh, I have a whole bunch of Believe in here. I don't even know I had all that. I used to just keep gum in my car, but recently I have been keeping those Listerine strips. I have like 3 of them. And like 3 of Tanya's lighters that I constantly find on my floor. We deliver to you when you can't get to us. Oh my God, McDonald's has Uber Eats and they deliver. Yeah, I'll have 6 Big Macs. Oh my God, a Big Mac sounds so good. They have like Christmas cups in there for coffee and stuff. Did you guys know that? I can see them. They're cute. And then like a Christmas McFlurry cup, it looks like. Or do they have a Christmas McFlurry here? Oh my God. Do they have the pumpkin pies out yet? I definitely will be doing that on my review channel if they do. I've gotten like a couple messages from people and they're like, I'm a little worried that you're using, I mean, they're very nice in their messages when they say this, but they're like, I'm a little worried that you're using your food reviews as cheat days, like, so you can eat this food. I'm like, I'm literally eating like not anything part of the food that I'm reviewing. Like, if I was gonna go hog wild, I could totally understand that, but, which I'm not saying that I won't at some point, you know, and do like a...
You're missing something good.
Yeah, I just got a large Diet Coke.
A large diet?
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do a full-on, like, Taco Bell, you know, review, because I totally would. But... in fact, it's like, I mean, I've talked on here about, like, how it's hard for me. This napkin down here earlier for my coffee. Because I don't really want to do the reviews because I'm trying to stick to this diet so closely. So anyway, except for that one night last week. That one night in paradise when I went to Cheesecake Factory. Hold on. Oh, don't turn off. Okay. So, we'll talk about a few business things right now. That just means projects I want to do or new creative ventures of mine. Number one, Mel and I talked at length about what we want to do with the book club. And I would say at this point, it's just as much hers as it is mine. I mean, just because my name's on it, she really basically does everything on it. And I am so thankful to her, and she is so amazing, and she's so good at it. So I just really, really love and appreciate her so much. And she's so fun to talk to, and she's so supportive. But anyway, so thank you, Mel, because she watches my vlogs too. We were trying to figure out what we were going to do for the books because we had, I think there was 3 more books for the rest of the year. There was Holidays on Ice by David Sedaris. There was this John Green book that he did, like, it's like 3 short stories. It's called Let It Snow, which I will still be reading for the month of December. And then there was The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion, which was going to be the last book that we read at the end of the year. I think this might be a real Coke. Or does it just taste so delicious? No, that's a Diet Coke, and it tastes so good. What we've decided going forward, starting in 2019, is that we're going to only read 1 book a month. And that the live stream book discussion will be the last Sunday of every month at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also decided that for the month of December, the only book that we're going to read, because we're going to basically just, you know, going forward, just do 1 book a month, will be David Sedaris's Holidays on Ice, which is very short, and it's like, you can listen to it on Audible in 4 hours, so it's basically a book of short stories, and it's really, really short. We also discussed all of the books that we've read so far, which I think has been like 6 or 8, in the book club, and like which ones people liked the most. And the ones that people have liked the most have been I'll Be Gone in the Dark. The one that it seemed to be like the largest live discussion, as well as the most participation in, was the one I'll Be Gone in the Dark about the Golden State Killer. So, are you ready? I asked in the live stream, and it got a good reception. I mean, the live stream discussions never have a lot of people. There's only like 20 people that ever come in there. But hey, listen, you know what? One more than me and one more than Mel, so it's always fun. And there's always a couple people in there that, you know, like have read the books and have a lot to say. And there was like Megan was in there today and a couple other people. So, I think it's fun to do the book club discussions. So we decided going forward, are you ready? In the year of 2019, Peter's book club will be completely dedicated to true crime novels. Is my hair so bad? Because I can't, like, you can't even hardly see my face with this hat on. So in 2019 on Peter's book club, all we are reading are true crime novels. And we think we are gonna start, the book for January, we think is gonna be Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule, about Ted Bundy. We're not sure. We want to kind of go in and look at some of the different true crime novels. She's also taking a poll on Goodreads. Mel put a poll up on Goodreads. And so we're going to kind of see what the reception is to that. But that's probably what we're going to do. All true crime novels for the year of 2019. So if you want to join Peter's book club, it's listed underneath all of my Peter Likes Books videos. And yeah, I'm real excited about it. So that is the first thing. The second thing is, people seem to respond really well to my rant videos. They seem to really, really like the rant videos. And I love doing the rant videos. And a lot of people have said, I think you should start a channel just doing rant videos. Well, I'm not going to start another channel. I'm not saying I won't ever start another channel, but right now I'm not going to start another channel. So, and the rant videos really, like, I could do them and have them be very, very short, like 2 to 3 minutes or whatever. Maybe, you know, 2 to 4 minutes, somewhere in there. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, how could I do this? Like, where would I post them? When I post them on Instagram, I could post them on Instagram, I could do this, because they're going to be shorter and whatever. And I thought, why don't I just use my Facebook page? Like, I never use my Facebook page for anything. You know, legit, I used it when I was started my book. That was really, or I wrote my book, that was really originally what it was for. And then when I started BookTube, I posted over there a little bit. So I was like, I am going to post all rant videos on my Facebook group going forward. So I went in there tonight and cleaned it up and changed some things and posted a video that I had posted on Instagram a while ago and said a change is coming. And so you guys are like, because if people are looking at it right now as I'm vlogging, they have no idea what that means. And what that means is it is going to be all short rant videos. So if you like the rant videos, they're going to be about anything possible too, okay? Like whatever I'm feeling at the moment. And I'm going to try to post over there quite a bit. So you're going to want to go follow my Facebook page. I think it's linked below. And I get tons and tons of friend requests on Facebook. I can tell you, I don't ever accept friend requests unless they're from people that I know personally. The reason why is because when I started doing YouTube, I had a woman go in and I accepted like every friend request I got, like at the beginning. And she went into all of my posts, like literally, like Melissa called me and she goes, I don't know who this person is, but she's going in on all of your pictures, all of your statuses and everything. And she went in and she, like wrote really horribly homophobic things. And I was like, what is going on with this? And so I blocked her and all this kind of stuff. But from there going forward, I was like, you know what? Like my Facebook, I'm just going to keep to myself. I mean, I know there's ways for people to see what's on there and whatever. I don't know. But I'm like, I'm just going to keep it to myself. And I don't really care if people see what I post. It's not so much about that. It's about, I don't want people to have access to comment on it for like my mother-in-law to see, or, you know, like my family. Like, I don't want my family to have to deal with somebody else's bigotry. I just don't want to have, in relation to the fact that I decide to put myself on YouTube or whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm taking that. I'm privatizing that. But the Facebook page, I haven't done anything with in like forever. And so I went in there and I took down the picture that was my book and edited some things down. I took like literally like every post off that page. It just was like, I'm starting fresh. It's going to be all rants over here, so it'll be easy for people just to go through. They can see them and clean it up. And yeah, so go follow my Facebook page. It's going to be a lot of fun over there. And those, I'm not going to put, whatever I post on that Facebook page, I'm not going to post as rants on my YouTube channel. I might post them on Instagram. I haven't decided yet, but I'm not going to post them on YouTube. So like, if you don't see it on Facebook, you probably won't see it. Does that make sense? So that's number 2. I just need to do some new creative things. And that doesn't take me more than, like, you know, the time it takes me to film it. I don't know why I keep on using this chapstick, but I love this chapstick, and I know it's really cheap, so you guys, you should check it out. It's called Silky Lips. I don't know who it's by. This is like an orange flavor. I can't, it's orange. It literally says orange on it. And I really like it. So anyway, so that's that. And then my husband and I have been meaning to do this Q&A together forever, and we haven't. We're gonna do it today. Well, yesterday we were gonna do it, but we were running out of time because we were going to the Christmas party. And then today we were gonna do it because, but we didn't have time because of, what do you call it? Or today we had time, but he wanted to sleep because he was tired. So I wasn't gonna force him to do it today. Like, he would have come down and filmed the video, but I was just like, let him rest. I mean, it's his day off. I want him to enjoy himself, you know? So, we didn't do the thing today, but we're gonna do it, and I'm gonna actually put another Instagram post up sometime this week, because we've gotten very serious questions. There are a lot about, like, our marriage counseling, things like that. So I'm gonna put an Instagram post up of all, like just funny, like, fun questions that people want to know. And then I'm going to combine the 3 questions together, and I think I'm going to do, I may do a 2-parter on it, and but at least one, and if I do one, it'll be longer, Q&A with Alex and I. So years ago, God, it was the year after we met, so 2009, Alex and I started the website Rant, where we ended up interviewing, you know, celebrities and all that kind of stuff. And Alex, now he runs it, but he doesn't post on it very often. And he's just gotten busy with work, and so he just hasn't had the time to do it. Well, we had so much fun doing the website together. Oh, it's gonna stop. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. By the way, the reason that I know it's gonna stop is because, like, the time that it's like, it tells me, like, right now I'm at 5 seconds. Like, the time all of a sudden turns to red, and so that's how I know that I only have so much time left. But anyway, Alex and I have been looking for something to do together, because when we did the website together, we had so much fun. I mean, it was like, okay, who do you want to interview? Who do I want to interview? How are we gonna reach out to these people and get them? And, you know, and it was so much fun. And then even locally, we did so much stuff locally. So if you guys don't know about the website, Alex and I started it in 2009, and it ended up becoming so much fun. And at one point, we did these things every year called the Sexy List in December, and we would pick, like, and it would come out right around Christmas time, between Christmas and New Year's, and it would be like, and we had, like, a whole way that we defined sexy. It wasn't just by physical looks. It was about how they, like, how you treated somebody. Like, how did somebody overall embody sexiness, which was also confidence and kindness and things like that. And So we would pick in there, and we would pick like sexiest man of the year, sexiest woman of the year, and blah, 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 you know, like the sexiest honeymooner couple that just got married, or sexiest, you know, OG couple and whatever. And so that was kind of the whole theme of the website, was a lot about like, we would always ask in interviews, how do you define sexy? Which was weird because like 90% of the people that we interviewed would say confidence is what's sexy in people. And, which I think is really true, you know? Not cockiness, confidence. The ability to laugh at oneself. The ability to not take oneself too seriously, but to be sure of oneself and one's own authenticity or interests, I think, you know? I think all of that is confident, you know? To be okay in your own skin. But I think to be okay in your own skin also means that you're aware of your own insecurities, if that makes sense. Like, I think cockiness is pushing away your insecurities and saying, I'm better. You know what I mean? So anyway, but we would do these lists. Well, the year that the Super Bowl was in Indianapolis, they had all these parties, like the Maxim party, the DirecTV party by Mark Cuban. And they all reached out to us, and they were like, we want you guys, like, you guys do this list every year, and so we know, why is this, look at this, it happens to me every night. So this one, my shirt doesn't come out of that sleeve. This one, my shirt comes way out of my sleeve, and it drives me nuts. But they said, like, basically, we want the movers and shakers of Indianapolis, like, there's a whole lot of movers and shakers here in this town, at our parties. We want to know who those people are, and we want you at these parties as well. Just give us the list of people. And so we literally got to come up with a list of like 50 people that got into like every party based on these sexy lists that we had made. The last year that we did it, like the years that we had done it before, it was just a lot of people that we knew from going out or seeing out and stuff like that. But the last year that we did it, which I can't even remember how long ago that was, 5, 6, 7 years ago. God, I feel like it was before we were married. So I don't know when it was. Well, it would have been the year of the Super Bowl. So we did, it was like Andrew Luck from the Colts was one of the people. He was like sexiest man of the year. And we had like Pacers on there, Pacemates and stuff like that, and Colts cheerleaders. And I mean, it was people that you would have guessed, you know what I mean? But anyway, we had so much fun doing all that stuff, and we would, you know, do like, we had so much fun putting it together and, you know, getting to do events. There was, at one point, I think it was for like a year and a half, 2 years, we were on, so if you live in Indianapolis, at the time, I can't even remember what the radio station is now. There's 99.9, 99.5 WZPL that has like a morning radio show, but there was another radio show, God, what's the channel? 103, I think. And they did like a morning show with like this Rachel girl and Kyle and somebody now, this other guy, he lives in Florida. And we would every Friday we were on the radio show, and we would like say what the 3 hottest things were to do in Indianapolis for the weekend. So we got to pick, and we would pick like plays or like, you know, some kind of party that was at some club, but we were always like, so there was just so much stuff that we got to do together. And I can remember those mornings because we would have to get up early, and we would do it like from bed. A couple of times we went into the radio station. 91 point, was it no, that's 93.1? No, that's not right. That's talk radio. I listen to that all the time. Anyway, if somebody knows what I'm talking about out there. But like that whole channel is like not even, I don't even think out there anymore exists, but it kind of like fell apart. But we had so much fun doing that, and we always like, you know, we're doing projects together and stuff like that. Well, in the last couple years since I started YouTube and I wrote my book, and Alex took over the website, which was kind of a conscious, like when I started doing YouTube regularly and like I was posting videos every day, I was like, I just can't keep up with the website too. Like, why don't you just take it over because you love it, turn it completely into all electronic dance music. And then I said, and then I'll do YouTube and whatever. And he said, okay. And we both agreed that that was probably a good idea, but we haven't really done like a creative venture together in a while. This is like such a long explanation to get to what I'm talking about. But anyway, we really miss doing it. I've had so many people say to me, why don't you and Alex have like a couple's Instagram together? And we've thought about it for a long time. And so we've kind of thrown the idea around. And then recently, somebody that I'm kind of friends with via like Instagram, like he and his boyfriend moved and they started one. And I was like, I had messaged him and I was like, or his husband actually. And I said, oh my God, I love that you started this, you know, this couple's Instagram account. Alex and I have thought about doing that. And he was like, you totally should do it. So since then, like Alex and I have talked about it a couple times. So I think we're gonna do that, but whenever we start it, we're gonna do it. It'll start when we, like, cause I'm gonna announce it on the Q&A. So that will be when it starts. I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Would you like to see a couple's Q&A of Alex and I? What a perfect couple we are. Maybe we can have a picture sitting in the waiting area of our counselor's office. That actually would be kind of a cute picture, wouldn't it? So, I just thought of a really good video for my YouTube channel. Let me know what you think below. If Alex and I did a video talking about the 10 things we argue most about, or the 5 things we argue most about. Because I think it would be so relatable to other couples, because it's not the kind of shit that people think, you know? It's like stupid stuff. I did do a rant video one time, I think, about like what couples fight about, and I think it was about like picking where you're gonna go for dinner. Like that's one of our biggest things, right? It's like, I'm so hungry, I'm hungry too, but what do you wanna do? I don't care, what do you wanna do? Do you wanna go out to dinner? I mean, we can, or we can order in. What would you prefer to do? I don't care, you decide. No, I decided last time. Okay. Let's go somewhere. Okay, well, do you want to go downtown? No, I mean, like, let's go somewhere, but I don't want to dress up. Like, I just want to wear a hat and jeans. See, that's me. Okay, well, if you want to just stay around here, I mean, if we're going to just go out somewhere, but we're not going to get dressed up and have, like, a date night, why don't we just carry it in? Then we can, like, you know, carry it out and bring it home. Then we can just, like, watch TV. Well, I was kind of wanting to go somewhere where we could, like, actually, you know, sit there and, okay, well, where were you wanting to go? I don't care. What sounds good to you? I don't care. You pick. Okay, let's go to Cheesecake Factory. Ugh, not Cheesecake Factory. We just went to Cheesecake Factory the last 3 times. Okay, how about Puccini's? Puccini, seriously? Like, I don't want pizza and I don't want pasta. What about Mexican? Oh, God, anything but Mexican. Do you guys do this? Like, this is so our conversations about dinner. And so Alex and I made a decision, honest to God, this, like, came up in marriage counseling, and our counselor was so laughing at us because we kind of, like, just did that whole, like, kind of role play thing. And, so, which our counselor has us do often in sessions, like role playing, which I think is good, you know, like to role play our arguments. And sometimes when you role play your arguments, like, you don't even realize how ridiculous they are until you're role playing them, if that makes sense. Sometimes, though, it can make it seem even worse. So you have to be careful of that. But, so Alex and I don't even know when this was. It's been a while. I may have even talked about it on here. We made a decision that, like, we go back and forth with dinner, and whoever's turn it is to pick the place, they have to pick the place. And it doesn't matter what the other person says. So we also have a very clear distinction between date nights and just going out to dinner, because we go out to dinner so much that, like, for us to go to Cheesecake Factory for dinner is like kind of like a subtle date, but not really. So we don't typically call those date nights. That is so pretty. Oh my God, I love all the Christmas decorations. So we don't necessarily call those date nights. Even though they are date nights and we love to do them, we don't necessarily identify them as date nights. Does that make sense at all? Like, because we do it all the time anyway. Like on date nights, no phones are allowed, except for maybe to take a picture for Instagram. But like on date nights, phones are not allowed. But if it's at the end of the day and we just go to somewhere to eat, like, you know, somewhere chill, it's like we don't care if we're on each other's phones. As long as we, like, so we can be sitting there talking and being like, yeah, okay, well, what else did you do today? You know what I mean? Because we could be sitting at home eating. And we love to go out to dinner together. I just love to have that hour and a half to myself with my husband, just to sit there and, you know, know what you think, okay? Here are your discussion points. This shirt is driving me crazy being out of my jacket. Okay. All True Crime 2019 on book club. On the book club, number 1. Number 2, rants on Facebook. I mean, I'm starting that, so that doesn't, but let me know what you think. Number 3, Alex and Peter doing a couples Instagram page, and what you think we should call it. Just Peter and Alex, or do you have some cute name for us, or whatever? Let us know. These houses in here, well, Tanya and I went in, and she said, I'm actually going to show you. I really, like, if we were going to move, this is where I would want to move. And I showed them to Tanya, and I said, do you think they're duplexes? Because they're not duplexes, they're called villas. And I go, I don't understand. She goes, well, it's kind of like a Florida thing. You see it down there more. But it's where, like, it looks like a big house, but it's like 2 people are sharing it. And I said, oh, okay. And she's like, why would you not want to, like, share a wall with somebody? I go, we already share a wall with somebody. But I wondered why these are, like, in the, like, they're, like, 200. They're not, like, 500. Because they look like they'd be, like, 500,000. But they're, like, 200. So let me show you the model. Which, of course, they have to have every light on in the damn house. But here's the model as you pull up. Here, I'm going to turn in here, and then you can see it. I think these are so adorable. Please don't turn off. Are these so cute? Okay, I need to find you one that has lights on but nobody lives in yet. Hold on a second. Okay, well, this must be one because there's no mailbox out front. So do you see this? Okay, so there's like a garage and then there's like an entrance, right? And they're so cute, and they're 2 stories. I don't know if you can see that. But then if you go around the side, there's a door over there. So there's this garage and door over there. There's like cars out in front of these, but like this one has a car out in front, but there's like, if you look up in that window, there's like nothing in there. They look like they're not. There's a porta potty in case you have to go to the bathroom. But are these not, hi? But are they not so cute? Alex said, we will never live that far north. Oh, did I show these already on here? I feel like I did because I was talking about them. Or maybe I drove Tanya, I drove Tanya through here, and I said, I would love to live in these, and she goes, yeah, these are really nice. And they start at 200, so I don't know what they go up to when they're like, look like this over here, but they have gorgeous like patios that are already like, what do you call it? Like isolated patios that are like finished and everything. And it says right here, from the mid 200s, so I guess that means, yeah. But I don't know what that means that you get for that. But Alex was like, if we're gonna be in a condo, we might as well. I said, well, it's not a condo. He goes, okay, but with our condo, we have a pool, we have tennis courts, everything like that. You know, we might as well just stay somewhere where we have all that. And we're halfway to the north side, we're halfway to downtown, so we're in a better location. We should just make our condo the way that we want to make it. And so that's what we ended up deciding that we were going to do, which I agree with that as well. 2019 is going to be the year for us to really get our condo the way that we want it to be. I drive around so much, and can I just tell you what is really interesting to me? And I know I've shown this house before on here. Okay, this is a model house. Can we just talk about why do you need every light on in your model house? Number 1. Number 2, they have like 4 TVs on in there because I've looked, and they're all of them like going at the same. Okay, I turned it off when I was turning it around. So anyway, I just think it's interesting, like on model homes, why they keep all the lights, you know, on forever. Don't you think that's interesting? Don't it turn your brown eyes blue? Do you remember that song by Crystal Gale? My aunt used to always sing it to me. Not my Aunt Kathy, my dad's sister. She used to always sing it to me because she said I had such pretty blue eyes. Or was there another song by Crystal Gayle? I remember my old roommate and I, she and I, the one that we used to drink a lot together, we were watching an interview on something, and I can't remember who it was, David Letterman or Johnny Carson or something, but Crystal Gayle came out, and she, you know, did you remember Crystal Gayle from back in the day? And she'd fold her hair, because her hair was so long, she would fold her hair and put it in her lap. My friend, Krista, was sitting there, and she goes, what do you think Crystal Gayle does when she's drunk and sits on the toilet? You think she pees all over her hair? It's nice out tonight. It's like 39. It's like kind of misty and rain. It kind of feels a little Christmassy, but not too Christmassy. I don't know what I mean by that. It's kind of like a sugar cookie that has a little bit of hardness to it, but it's still soft inside. That's what I mean. It's supposed to get real cold this weekend, or this week. Imagine that. My nephews went to go see Santa, and they took, you know, pictures with Santa, and then they wrote the letters, and they put it in the mailbox and everything. They were so excited about it. I think that's so sweet. Carlito so believes in Santa Claus. Like, he believed years before, like, so he's 6 this year. And I think like 5 to 7 maybe is like, I don't know, because I don't have kids obviously, but is it like 5 to 7, 4 to 7 is like the years? Because like last year, like he got it, and like he understood because, like, you know, all of his friends and stuff cousins were talking about it. But like this year, like he really gets it. He's really excited about it. Sebastian doesn't get it. Sebastian turns 3. I said he was 3. I was talking about that in my vlog last night about him being 3, I think. He'll be 3 in January. Sebastian's also my godson. Carlitos is Alex's godson, and Sebastian is my godson. And then Liliana's sister is Sebastian's godmother. They are such good boys. They are so sweet. I'm excited about Alex's brother coming home this week, and we get to see him. I'm really excited about that. I had such horrible nightmares earlier, you guys. I woke up like 3 times when I was taking my nap, and Alex was like, you keep waking up, what's going on? And I was like, I'm having horrible nightmares. I don't even remember what they are now. They were weird. Oh, I remembered one of them was like something I was trying to get out of this. Like, I went in someplace. I almost kind of wonder if this didn't have to do with my discussion about Franny and Zoe in the book club live discussion, because I was talking in there about that a lot of the discussion in Franny and Zoe is about spirituality versus, it's like the juxtaposition between religion and like spirituality, right? Which, you know, I like talk a lot about. And so it was interesting. It's like people, and what's interesting about this, I was having this conversation with like a friend of, well, Alex's friend, co-worker's husband last night. He works with some people that are pretty religious. I wouldn't say like hyper religious, but they're really active in their churches, and they're younger, you know, and stuff. And they go to this church like right up here that I passed not too long ago that's literally ginormous. I mean, it is huge, this church. But anyway, really nice people. But he was like, oh, but you're not religious at all, are you? And I said, it's interesting when people say that about me. I said, like, I'm not offended by people saying like, oh, Peter's religious. I said, but I consider myself spiritual. I said, and he goes, well, what's the difference for you? And I said, I don't know. I feel like spirituality is more of the soul. I said, I feel like, it doesn't pertain to any one world religion, that I take several precepts of certain religions. Like, I don't follow any one doctrine. And he goes, yeah, but how does that really work? And I'm like, and he wasn't like, you know, arguing with me. He was just really interested. And I go, well, I mean, I said, I think when you look at like, you know, Buddha and Christ next to each other, a lot of the same beliefs were similar. Compassion, you know, tolerance, forgiveness, the idea of being a good person, the idea of being a better person, learning from your mistakes, you know, confessing, things like that to some degree. I mean, not so much in Buddhism, but the idea of like owning your wrongs, things like that. Like, they're very similar between Buddhism and Christianity. And I said, and there's other, you know, like there's a lot out there about Native American wisdom that I think is beautiful, that talks a lot about compassion towards the earth, you know, and towards other people or fellow man. And there's a lot of religions out there that speak of that, you know. And I said, I kind of like to take what I like and leave the rest. And I think it's also very much a recovery thing, you know, to mostly talk about, I must be losing a little bit more weight than I thought, because this hat is starting to get a little loose on me, you guys. I'm kind of excited about that my hats are starting to fit me looser. Looser? They're more loose. More loose? Anyway, but, you know, I was talking about that, and I said, like, I think people think they're going to offend me if they call me religious. Like, I'm not offended by that at all, you know? Like, I guess my belief to some degree is a religion, you know? But it's that I take from several different religions. And he's like, but that doesn't, because I don't understand how that works for you. And I go, well, first of all, I'm not Catholic, so I wasn't raised Catholic. I was raised, you know, Protestant, Lutheran church, which is a very liberal church. So it wasn't like you must do A, B, 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 you know, A, B, C, whatever. But I don't go to church anymore, so I can do whatever the hell I want, basically. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to say this, I can say this. If I want to say God is the wind, I can say God is the wind. And I very much at times feel like God is the wind. I very much feel at times that God is a sunset, or God is in a rainstorm, you know, or God is in a deer standing on the side of the road. You know, I also very much sometimes believe that God is somebody that needs our help, as much as I believe that God is in with us, and or God is in us. And you know, I can be sitting in a meeting sometimes, and like, for me, when I say God, I just mean my higher power. I don't mean any kind of specific God to any religion, but I can be sitting in a meeting sometimes, and like, I don't know. I'm either really like turning people off, or you'll get what I say. So I'm just gonna say what I gotta say, and you'll either relate to it or be like, this is crazy. But like, I'll be sitting in a meeting, and I'll like need to talk to God. Does that make sense? Like, I need to hear from God, and I'll be sitting there, and it's like God speaks through somebody to me. Like, and I don't mean like all of a sudden, you know, like somebody's channeling God. I don't mean that. I mean like, in that specific moment, like somebody looks at me in a certain way, or they say something, you know. I just talked about this in like the Pickle Lady story. Like, I really believe that was a God moment, you know. I talked about that on my Peterisms channel. There are moments that, like, even in a gas station, somebody can say something to me, and I'm like, you know, I was going through this fast food restaurant one night. I don't know that I talked about this on here. I don't think I did. I think I may have alluded to it, but so when I was going through, I was talking to the woman that was working in the fast food thing, that was waiting for my food, and she said, and I said something about, like, you seem in a good mood, and she said, I'm having a blessed day. And I said, I love that you say that. And I said, I love when people say things about blessings, you know, because I believe in blessings. And she said, well, it hasn't been easy. I've really been struggling lately, and so I have to look at, you know, what I'm grateful for and whatever. And I thought she was speaking like in sobriety terms. And I looked at her and I go, can I ask you a question? And she said, yeah. And I go, well, there's a certain way you say it to somebody, okay? So, like, if you want to know if you're in a certain, if you want to, God, I get so tired of talking around this, and then the other night, I, like, even said it in a vlog, but anyway, there's a certain way you say it to somebody. Like, you say, are you a friend of so-and-so's, right? Who is one of the founders of a certain 12-step program. If you're in it, you know what I'm talking about, right? So I said to her, I said, can I ask you a question? She goes, yeah. And I said, are you a friend of? And she just looked at me and she goes, I wish I was a better friend. And I said, I don't understand what you mean. And she said, are you? And I said, yeah, I've been sober for, you know, like 23 years. And this was like 10 months at the time, 9 months. And she said, I'm really struggling. She said, I can't hold on to 30 days. And she said, I've gone in and out for years. And she said, I'm just afraid I'm going to end up dead one of these days. And I said, sweetheart, I said, you just keep on holding on and you keep on trying, and you just put one day in front of the other, and sooner or later you'll have 23 years just like me. And she said, oh no, I'll never have that. And I said, I thought the same thing. I said, I never thought it would happen to me. And I said, now I'm the old fool that I used to laugh at in meetings, you know? And she said, you know, she said, if you can do it, I think that I can do it too. And it was this night that I just was feeling so down on myself and so low, you know? And I drove off from there. And I like went in there like a week later, and I was like, oh, the woman that used to work, that you worked in the window, she's not working tonight. And they're like, who? And I was like, the woman that's working in the window, they're like, the guy was like, I don't know who you're talking about. But no, she's not here tonight. And I was like, you don't know who I was talking about? I'm like, it was such a weird, like, God moment, and it was such a blessing. Like, I felt like God was talking to me, you know? We never know who is on the other end of, like, receiving a message that we need to hear. And, you never know who is on the other end of receiving a message you need to hear. I don't know why that got me so emotional. I feel like I meet people all the time that just do not believe in themselves enough to be able to stay sober and do it, you know? And I think one of the scariest things, I don't talk about this on here very often, okay? So just bear with me. One of the scariest things for me is that I see a lot of people on social media talk about being sober, but they're not in 12-step programs. And in my 20-some years of being around sobriety, I've only known people to stay sober 3 ways. Number 1, to work a 12-step program, which to me means going to meetings, having a sponsor, remaining sponsorable, which means that you allow yourself to have what your sponsor tells you. You do those things. Sponsoring others, giving back, doing service work, actively attending meetings, working steps, making changes in your life, owning your shit, all that kind of stuff. Okay. That to me is working a 12-step program. The other way 2, that I've seen people that have stayed sober is that they get really, really involved in religion, which is one of the reasons why I will never, ever say anything negative. Do I think that there are religions out there that are dangerous-minded? Absolutely. Do I know that there are religions out there that hate me for the sole reason that I am gay? Absolutely. Okay? But I know a lot of people that have said 12-step programs are not for me, but I got really involved in my church, and they go to healthy churches, and they got very involved and got in church choir and did this and did that and found some kind of spirituality, right? And one of the things that we have to remember is that 12-step programs really are not about the drink or the drug. They're really about finding a higher power, cleaning the wreckage of your past, and continuing to live a right life. And when you realize that you are have wronged, that you try to correct that and move forward in your personal life. So those are very similar ways, okay? And I'm not going to say one is better than the other because I've never gone the route of religion, and I don't know if that would work for me, but I just don't believe that that's what I need to do. The third way that I have learned that people get off drugs and alcohol, I guess I should have said not stayed sober. I guess I should have said get off drugs and alcohol at the beginning of this conversation, is what I consider a dry drunk. And a dry drunk is somebody that stops using. They might go through a detox. They might go through a maintenance drug system like methadone or Suboxone or something like that. But they get off the drug, or they cold turkey it, which the really scary thing about a lot of these stories is today, we're not just talking, I mean, it is you can kill yourself by trying to just take yourself off alcohol if you're drinking a certain amount, number one. Number two, you can definitely kill yourself by trying to cold turkey off of opioids, okay? Like heroin, oxycodone, things like that. You can kill yourself. You can definitely kill yourself coming off of alcohol too. I'm telling you, if you're drinking a fifth a day and you just stop like that, you're gonna probably throw yourself into seizures and somebody's gonna find you dead in your bedroom floor. So I don't recommend that at all. From a personal experience point of view, go into treatment. They'll make it 100 times easier and more comfortable for you, trust me. So, but to me, a dry drunk is somebody that just detoxed off of drugs and alcohol, but then didn't do anything to fix what's gone. Because once you stop using, all of that shit's in there. We still have that hole inside of us, right? Like there's still those resentments, that anger, that fear, all of that, those things that we've done in our lives that we're not proud of. There's still all of that, right? Which is why continued emotional sobriety is really, really important, or to some degree we'll go back to those things, which is why when I wasn't going to meetings for 4 years, I had no emotional sobriety. I was not living I mean, even though I wasn't drinking, I wasn't drugging, I had no spiritual foundation. So, to me, and I don't look down on people that are dry drunks or, whatever. They make me sad because they could have so much more and they're not using anyway, and I've had a lot of friends of mine that I have known that were sober, dry drunks, but they weren't doing anything to clean up their lives and ended up killing themselves because they were so miserable. They killed themselves sober or dry because they were miserable. They weren't fixing anything. I've had friends of mine that have looked right at me and said, this is 10 times worse not using and not having it. But I won't go to meetings. I don't want to go back to meetings. Whatever. I don't want to go. It's not for me. I don't relate, on and on and on. But this, what I'm feeling right now, is 10 times worse than when I was drinking or using, which is really scary to me. So I think it's a dangerous message that we send out there sometimes, It's like, I take the word sober very seriously. Very seriously. I mean, to me, this is a serious conversation because this is life or death, okay? End, period, life or death. When people want to say some stuff about my sobriety, my recovery, first of all, it doesn't affect me the way that it used to, because when I first got on YouTube and somebody would say something about it, I'd be all up in arms. But what I really realized today is that it's absolute ignorance on the part of the person that's saying it, okay? Because to ever pass judgment on somebody that is sober about their sobriety or their drug or alcohol using is saying that your life means very, very little to me. And somebody that can look at me and judge me and say your life means very little to me is not somebody that means anything to me anyway, so I don't take anything that they have to say to heart whatsoever. So when people make ignorant statements about sobriety or addiction, I did a whole thing on this a while ago. Do you guys remember when I kind of went off? Basically what they're saying is I don't really care if you're dead or alive. I mean, it is really that serious. If people don't believe me, go look up the statistics. Addiction is one of the leading causes of death in our country, period. Especially with younger generation right now, We have men and women out there, boys and girls, that could have been doctors, could have been attorneys, could have been baseball coaches and artists, could have been actors in movies that we will never see them perform in. They could have been mothers, they could have been fathers, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, They could have gone to grad school or doctoral programs, or maybe just had fun on a Friday night getting cheeseburgers with their friends. They may have played football in college, or written a book that would have profoundly changed our perspective on something. Yet we will never know, and neither will they, because of the addiction. And the addiction was much stronger than they were. And people are dying every day. Breaks my heart. It's too serious for me to joke about. People ask me a lot why I stopped working in the field of addiction. And if you've ever worked in it for a long period of time, if you're somebody out there that's worked in the field of addiction, you'll know what I'm talking about. there becomes a point when you start becoming a little numb to things. You start kind of becoming numb to the amount of funerals that you attend, which I have attended hundreds. You start becoming numb to the amount of overdoses that you hear about or arrests due to drugs and alcohol. You start getting kind of numb to the divorces, the children taken away by the foster care system or the Division of Family Services. You start becoming kind of numb to people that have been on probation for 5, 10 years or parole. You kind of become numb to people going in and out of the system, Department of Corrections, over and over and over again. Oh, Sally Joe's in prison again? Wow, that's really sad, but it really has no kind of effect on you. At some point, you really become kind of numb to all of it. And I was very close, and I knew that. And I worked with people that it was no longer, not all the people that I worked with, but a few, that it was no longer, what can I say? It was no longer about the mission of addiction. It was about running a treatment program. And almost to some degree, you kind of have to get numb if you're going to stay in it long term. And I had way overstayed my welcome because I was becoming numb and I didn't want to. Addiction's way too serious to me. It's also personal. And I'm talking about people that I worked with that were not addicts and alcoholics. Because I would say, like, when I started working in treatment about, I was there 13 years, a little short of 13 years. I left at the end of January and I had started in May, so just a little short of 13 years. But when I started there, I would say about 70% of the people that I worked there were in sobriety, and when I left there, I would say about 20% maybe of the people, I was gonna say 50, but I think it's more like 20% of the people that worked there were in sobriety. And it really was a shift in how the philosophy of the program. I think it's gotten better actually since I've left. I think it's got like a new round of people, because I know a lot of people in sobriety that work there now. So it's kind of like, you know, there's a high turnover in treatment programs and things like that. And then, you know, I just was kind of like, I don't know that I want to continue to do this. Like, it's very depressing to me, and I also need to have my sobriety for me, you know? And I loved working in the field. I really did. I enjoyed it. I knew so much about it. But at the same time, I was like, you know, I don't want to work with people that are court-ordered anymore. I don't want to do this. I want to work with people that want to achieve their dreams. That's what I wanted to do, you know? I put on so much of this chapstick tonight. I'm just like, I can eat it. It's so good. It literally just, I was like sitting there looking, and then all of a sudden it just beeped, and I was like, oh, I guess I didn't even realize I was anywhere near to the end. It was kind of funny. And sometimes I miss, you know, all of that. Really, there's not anybody. There's a few people that I used to work with that still work in the field, but really not a lot. And like a couple of the people that I worked with, like one girl went back, she went to hair school. Like, she was a great counselor, and she went to hair school, and now she's a hairstylist. She has been for like 10 years. I mean, she and I left about the same time. And I mean, I know so many people that just, they're gone, you know? It's like a lot. I'm a believer in that, you know, you really have to take care of yourself so that you can, like, be there for somebody else. And anytime somebody calls me, but anytime somebody messages me or emails me about, like, grief, and they'll say, like, you know, I don't know what to do, and, you know, my dad died. I'm just making up an example, but, like, my dad died, and my mother's living with us, and she's just driving me crazy, and I have to take the kids to school, and I'm a single mother, and their dad doesn't really help. And I'm like, okay, first of all, like, my question always is, like, what do you do for you? I don't have any time for me. You don't don't have time for even like a 20-minute bath every night by yourself, Calgon, take me away. Like, you have to take care of yourself. And like, that's one of the things I've really learned through the years. And I'm not even talking about like professionally, I'm talking about like personally. You have to take care of yourself, you know? Whether that's an ice cream cone, a show on Netflix, or, you know, taking a bath, or playing, you know, a game of tennis with your friends, or going out to lunch on the weekend and having brunch or whatever, reading for a half an hour, flipping through a magazine, you know, whatever it is, allowing yourself to have just a little bit of time, that cup of coffee in the morning before everybody else gets up, or, you know, just laying there in bed for 15 minutes, you know, and just whatever, even maybe just going through Instagram or something. But like, I think we all need to take care of ourselves a little bit more, you know? I think it's important for us to treat ourselves well, because then we can treat other people well too, you know? And it's like, some of the people that I know that are the biggest givers, and what I mean is that they're constantly giving to others, taking care of themselves, don't really take care of themselves very often. Does that make sense? But one person that I know that is such a giver and does take care of herself is Tanya. And what I love about Tanya is like I'll call Tanya randomly and I'll be like, well, I mean, I call her every day, but like, I'll call her and I'll be like, so what do you do? And she's such a giver. Like, Tanya is she is constantly friends, family, workers, employees. I mean, Tanya is just giver constantly, you know what I mean? And I'll say like, well, what are you doing today? And she's like, well, she was like, I went and, you know, I got a massage, and she was like, and then, I want to do this, and then I went to Macy's, and I wanted a new pair, what am I doing this? My snake and a caterpillar. But she'll be like, you know, then I went to Macy's, and I wanted to buy a new pair of shoes, so I got a new pair of like, you know, sneakers that I wanted, and she's always got the cutest sneakers. And, she's like, then I just kind of like walked around, and then I, you know, she's got her friend that she'll say like, oh, I met my friend, you know, for lunch in, you know, Noblesville Square, and we sat there and just kind of talked, and then I came home and I took like a 3-hour nap. She takes really long naps like me. And she was like, then I got up and I made dinner for Eric and I, and it was a really nice afternoon, and I just kind of took it to myself. She'll take a bath. Like, she takes so many baths. She is so good at taking care of herself, because she knows that she can't be there for other people if she's not taking care of herself. And she sure as shit ain't gonna wait around for somebody else to take care of her, you know what I mean? I mean, her husband is so good at treating her well and taking care of her, but at the same time, it's like she knows she has to take care of herself. And I think it's a really valuable lesson that we have to learn, that, you know, we need to start taking better care of ourselves and treating each other nicer, or treating ourselves nicer so that we can treat each other better. And I think that if we took care of ourselves more, I really think we would be kinder and stuff to other people, you know, to others. Did you ever like catch something out of the corner of your eye? You're like, what is that? It was a seatbelt. It was like the way the light was shining on it. And I was like, is that a box? What's the box doing over there? A box? A box? I think for me, you know, I want to feel good and peaceful when I wake up in the morning, or at least within my first half hour. I have to say, there are not many mornings anymore that I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, so to speak. You know what I mean? I just don't. I mean, speaking of too blessed to be stressed, I mean, I just kind of do feel that way most days anymore. But then I also like to go to bed at night, you know, with like, I mean, I kind of have this ritual now that I do every night, which is, you know, I start rendering the vlog, and then, unless I, you know, forget, and then so I start rendering the vlog, and then I take PP out, one last time before we go to bed, and, or the pups if they're sleeping with us, and then, I rush them upstairs and they go back into bed, and then I say my prayers and my meditations and my gratitudes for the end of the day, and then I go upstairs and I take my contacts out and I wash my face, and I usually put on a hydrating face mask to leave on overnight, and then I set my alarms and I do not touch my cell phone before I go to bed. Like, once I've walked upstairs, I don't look at anything on my cell phone. I'm done. Unless it's like I'm trying to like put something in my notes to remember, because I do that a lot. But like if I'm laying there and I'm like, oh, I want to write a story about this, or I want to do that, like I'll put it in my notes. But very rarely. Once I'm upstairs, I'm off my cell phone. I have tried to tell Alex this. I'm like, you would sleep better if you would like put your cell phone down. There have been studies that have shown like 30 minutes before you go to sleep to be off your cell phone is what you need to do. And then I just lay down there and I lay on my back with my, you know, very relaxed with like the face mask on until it kind of dries a little bit, because those face masks dry pretty quickly. The one from Sephora, the green tea one, I really like that one. The Neutrogena one is fantastic. It smells so clean. I love that one. The hydrating overnight face mask from Neutrogena. And then this Belief one I really like as well. So that's kind of like my night. And then I go to sleep and I'm just like, I end the day so peaceful, you know? And I usually kind of like lay there and try to think about, like my mind goes and goes and goes. So I try to sit there and think about like, what were some of my favorite things that happened during the day? What were some of the best things that happened during the day? You know, which kind of then turns into things I'm grateful for. You know, oh, I got to go to a meeting with Tanya tonight. I'm so grateful for my friendship with Tanya. She means so much to me. I don't know what I would do without her. You know, she's my rock, things like that, you know. Or, oh, I went on a date with Alex, or I went to the Christmas party and we got to spend time together, and he looked so handsome, and we got to hang out before we were going to the Christmas party and all that. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm so proud of my husband and our marriage, you know, and I'm so grateful for my husband. And so it kind of turns into that. And it's a really great way for me to end the day. And so I frame my day now in positivity and peacefulness and serenity, which I never really did before, you know? I never really thought much about it, I guess. I have no idea how long I've been vlogging for now. It's 3 o'clock. What time did I start it? 1 something? I literally have no idea how long I've been vlogging for. 24 is 48. I'm at 9 minutes. 48. So, I don't know, 58. Almost 10 minutes. And then... oh, you know, I like turned the camera off and I was turning it around, didn't I? It's 58. Now, how long was that? 10, 20 minutes? I don't know. I have no idea. An hour, something like that I've been vlogging for. Usually in the winter I see a lot of deer outside. I haven't seen a lot of deer yet. I think they're so beautiful. Just standing there, you know. I think they're such spiritual creatures. You know, I think it's interesting in this whole conversation about, like, you know, God moments and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I think once I stopped being resistant to the whole idea of, like, way back when, that there can't possibly be anything greater than, you know, us out there or whatever. And once I was like, well, maybe there is, you know, and I opened myself up to that. And well, if maybe there is means, I don't know, let me find out what that looks like. Let me see what they could possibly be. And of course, I'm not 100% sure. Like, I just have, you know, feelings about things. And, but when you open yourself up to this whole idea of having like a God moment or a spiritual moment, you know, it's amazing how many you start having, you know, where it just is like amazing how many of them you start having. And, you know, I was talking to Alex the other day. I think it may have just been yesterday. Do you guys remember I was talking on here and I was saying that like my skin was starting to look better, and I think it was because I was doing face masks and stuff like that. And Alex said, have you... I just reached for this chapstick again. I don't need any chapstick on. I can taste the orange on my lips. Peter. But Alex said to me, yes, it could be from all of your face creams that you've been buying. He said, or, you know, it could be from those, you know, Tottie's magical pills. I really haven't noticed any difference from those. But anyway, it makes me sad. I really want them to work so bad for her, you know. Maybe they do for some people. I just don't notice a whole lot of difference. But anyway. But he goes, have you ever thought also about the fact that, like, you've started your day off now in the last, let's say, 2 to 3 months with prayers, meditations, you know, the spiritual kind of tradition or spiritual ritual that you really believe in. He said, you seem so much more relaxed than you did 3 months ago. He said, you were always just busy, 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 busy. And he goes, you just, like, even if you're busy doing things now, you're, like, relaxed while you're busy. And he said, have you ever thought about the fact that maybe your face seems clearer and is because you're more relaxed? And he's like, and that's, you know, because of all of that, and it has nothing to do with these face creams and things. It's like, you know, oh, you're just more relaxed in life, so maybe. And I was like, you know what, I had never thought about that. Like, that could totally be, you know. I don't know. I know I like driving around looking at the Christmas lights. I think they're pretty. Looking and listening to Christmas music. I find myself very quickly turning off the Christmas music, though, or changing the station when it is this, like, very, like, I mean, I like the Mariah Carey Christmas stuff. I like Britney Spears because it's kind of, like, been around for a while, you know, and, like, Kelly Clarkson, I like her stuff, but Kelly Pickler, not so much a fan, sorry. I don't like it when it's like, okay, I don't mind if it's like a song that, like, I've heard before that they've redone. Do you see these Christmas lights? Aren't they so pretty, these trees? This is all through the north side of Indianapolis. But anyway, don't shut off. I don't mind when it's a song, I got that sticky stuff all over my hands. I don't mind when it's a song that that's like redone. What I don't like is when it's some new song that I've never heard of before, that, like, and it's somebody doing it that I'm like, I mean, I don't dislike Miranda Lambert, like, she's okay, but I mean, she's not my favorite person in the entire world. I mean, she does a song and it's called something like, you know, I got a fountain pop with Santa or something, and I'm like, girl, this is stupid. Why are you doing this song? And then they play it 1,500 times on the same channel, and I'm like, I could care less who got a fountain pop with soda or with Santa. This is this stupid song, and she should never put it out. Like, that's what pisses me, listening to me get mad about. I'm gonna do a rant about that. Maybe I'll put that on my Facebook. Anyway, here's more lit up trees. Aren't they pretty? Well, I guess I'll get off here and listen to Harry Potter for a little bit. I feel like I'm stuck in Harry Potter world and I'm never getting out. It's taking me forever to get through Goblet of Fire. Oh, by the way, I'm taking December off. I'm not reading any Harry Potter books in December. I need a break so that I want to come back to Harry Potter. Because it's like, you know when you go to college and then you go, and it's like, you just like can't go to any more, and then it's like, oh, but next semester I'm gonna start graduate school. See, I took some time off, okay? I needed to want to come back to school to really, I need to do that with Hogwarts, kind of to some degree. Like, I'm kind of cashed out on Harry Potter at this point. I want to finish the series, and I am gonna finish the series, but I kind of like, I need to go on to something else for a little while. I don't know. Have you guys ever read The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer? Okay, so I was getting ready to sign off, and I was talking about the Marissa Meyer books, and then I, like, tried to adjust the camera, and I turned it, and now my hands are all sticky. It's a big mess, and the battery's about to go off, so I have to make this quick. But I do want to say that I was saying, have any of you read the Marissa Meyer's Lunar Chronicle series out there, which starts with Cinder? I read/listened to Cinder, and I loved it. It's a retelling of Cinderella. It was fantastic, I thought. But I didn't finish the rest of the series, and I've been meaning to. And so maybe I'll pick up the second one, which I can't remember what it's called. Scarlet, maybe? I don't know. Have you guys read the Lunar Chronicles? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Anyway, so. Moral of the story is, don't move the camera, because then you get the sticky stuff all over your hands, and I'm going to turn it off here in a second anyway, so why do my hands now when I'm going to have to do them in 5 more seconds? Do you get what I'm saying? So anyway. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday, beginning of your week. You have a whole week until the weekend. Unless you're, watching this like in 2020 and like the TV show, and it's a Tuesday, then you're watching it on a Tuesday, but otherwise you're probably watching this on a Monday. Or if you're catching up and it's Friday and it's the weekend, happy weekend. Okay, I have one goal this week, and that is to put up my Christmas tree. I've got to get my Christmas tree up. So, yeah. If you made it this far, put a little Christmas tree. So many people were like, I had a really hard time finding the Christmas tree emoji. The problem is I have a really easy time finding it because I use it all the time. So, and the pumpkin. Anyway, if you made it this far, put a little blue heart for the woof pack. If you're a woof packer. I put that over on my Facebook thing. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook. My Facebook page is listed below. I'm going to be putting rants over there. I don't know when that will start. But within the next couple days. And, yep. I guess that's it. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.